Welcome back. I'm Lisa Blanc, therapist, author, and life coach. And today's video is part 2 of 3 of the Parental Alienation series. Part 1 was posted recently where I explained 10 common tactics used by a narcissistic ex in an effort to alienate your child from you. If you haven't seen it, just click on the link above. So today I'm going to give you 5 ways to safeguard your child from the psychological harm caused by the alienating parent. And in part 3, I will give you strategies to protect yourself and preserve your own sanity when dealing with a toxic narcissistic ex who is trying to alienate your child from you. Okay, in today's video, I'm also going to explain 3 important things that you need to know and realize right off the bat. Please keep in mind that this is general information and you will need to use your own good judgment to determine how to apply it to your specific circumstances. Okay, so let's jump right in with the 3 things that will help you set realistic expectations. First thing is that you have no control over your narcissistic or sociopathic ex's toxic behavior. And chances are it's not going to change for the better. They're not going to miraculously start behaving like a mature adult who has your child's best interests at heart. Understand that it's all about them winning and you losing. And they're not considering how your child will be harmed in the process. Why? Because as long as they feel like they are on top and their image is being preserved, they're good. So don't be shocked when they behave in the ways that they always have or worse. Instead, be shocked when you didn't expect it, when you weren't prepared for it, because the sooner you set your expectations to match reality, to match what is versus what you wish it was, the sooner you can effectively strategize ways to respond to the narcissistic parent's behavior in a smart, level-headed way. As much as people might tell you that things are going to get better and you just have to wait it out, or that your child is going to realize what's really going on, that your ex might come to their senses, this is not likely going to happen in the case of a narcissist. Number 2, if you're dealing with a narcissist with antisocial traits, expect extreme behavior with no limits to their cruelty. They'll spare no expense to make you suffer. This may involve false accusations and lies to teachers, police, judges, leading you to expend an inordinate amount of time, energy, and money to prove your innocence. And even if you do succeed in proving that your ex lied, they may face little or no consequences. So you may believe that justice will prevail, but sadly, this is often not the case. The narcissistic parent can easily make false claims in a matter of minutes, causing you months or even years of problems, this leaving you feeling helpless and further victimized. So, avoid putting yourself in situations where there are no witnesses, avoid conflicts with authority figures or school officials, and don't stir up conflict or throw fuel on the fire, because it is often your child that ends up going up in flames. Remember, narcissists must preserve their image and prove that they are the good guy or the victim, and they'll come up with creative ways to burn your life down to the ground. So as much as it might be tempting to fight fire with fire, always keep in mind that a narcissist's threshold for conflict and chaos is likely a heck of a lot higher than yours, and they're always going to up the ante and go the extra mile no matter the costs and consequences to your child. Now, this does not mean that you can't stand up for yourself and for your child, but choose your battles wisely and don't get into ego battles. Make sure that your top priority is your child's well-being and not your ego. Third important thing to remember is that you can't co-parent with a narcissist or sociopath. It's just not possible. You will be lucky if you can create a parallel parenting arrangement. But oftentimes, you will be dealing with counter-parenting, where they oppose and contradict everything, even if it's determined by the court, creating chaos and conflict at every turn. You may try to respond in every which way possible, but still fail to make progress. And anytime you think you are making some progress, new problems arise, often worse than before. Again, giving you this sense of helplessness and hopelessness. So my point here, which ties to the first point, is that you can't change the narcissistic parent. Their mission is to make your life miserable because in their mind, you are the scum of the earth, you are the bad guy, and you deserve to suffer. And you're not going to change their mind about that. Although there are no foolproof ways to safeguard your child from parental alienation, here are 5 strategies that can help you give your child at least half a chance. First, if you've seen part 1 of this video, you understand that the narcissistic parent works to create a trauma bond with the child. In the context of parental alienation, a trauma bond refers to the emotional attachment that forms due to a child's exposure to manipulation, pressure, and negative influences exerted by the alienating parent. And this is all in an effort to get the child to reject the targeted parent. In most cases, the child is under severe psychological duress. So do not blame the child. And if ever you find yourself tempted to blame them, try to empathize with their situation. Consider the powerful influences that the narcissistic person once had on you as a fully grown adult. And now imagine a vulnerable child with limited defenses against this potent form of abuse. Your child is doing their best to cope and survive this situation, and this might sometimes lead to them rejecting you. So try to be patient and understanding even when you're hurting. If your child is becoming more reluctant to spend time with you, consider inviting one of your child's friends to come along, or a young relative that you have a good connection with, so that your child can see someone that they respect and like, respecting and liking you and being respected by you. Try to make your time together as positive and enjoyable as possible by being attentive and present, making an effort to ensure that your child feels safe, seen, heard, validated, and loved by you. Keep in mind that manipulation and insecure attachment may lead to personality disorders later in life. However, if one parent steps up, hopefully that's you, to provide consistent love, emotional availability, and support, you can significantly improve their odds of experiencing normal development. Number 2, talk to your child about personal boundaries and let them know that it's perfectly okay for them to establish boundaries regarding what they want to hear or discuss about the other parent and what feels right for them. Maintain a consistent message of love and support. Reassure them that you will always love them no matter what, and that they're allowed to love and be loved by both parents, even if it doesn't always feel that way. That said, understand that it will be hard for them to set boundaries with the alienating parent because they are likely terrified of rejection and or punishments. If your child tells you negative things that were said about you or talks about ways that they're being manipulated by the other parent, it would be rather natural for you to jump on the defensive, and in some cases, it might be appropriate to do so and to defend yourself, to clarify the facts, but make sure that you're not stooping to the alienating parent's level. For example, maybe they lied to your child about something that you said through text. In this case, it may be appropriate to clarify the facts and provide concrete evidence, such as showing the texts of what was actually said to your child. Now, what's not okay is to follow this up with things like, your mom is such a liar, she's always trying to make you believe that I'm the bad guy when she's the one manipulating you, and da 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 da. When discussing the other parent, avoid using alienating language, subtle threats, guilt trips, and avoid criticizing and demeaning the other parent in front of your child. If you are using the same toxic tactics, then you're not doing right by your child either. So always ask yourself if what you're about to say or do is going to help or harm your child in the long run. Remember, this isn't about winning a battle with your narcissistic ex. It's about ensuring your child comes out a winner. Third, engage in open and authentic conversations with your child, dedicating quality time to talk about life's complexities. Help them understand that life is not simple. It's not good or bad, black or white. It encompasses a spectrum of perspectives and multiple shades of gray. Discuss your own imperfections. Acknowledge that no one is perfect and that you've made mistakes. Let them know that it's okay to hold differing opinions of someone or to dislike something that someone did while still maintaining love for them. Encourage them to critically evaluate both the positive and negative qualities and behaviors in their friends, family members, and even in themselves, as well as to explore why people might do some of the things that they do. For example, let's say their best friend, Jake, has been getting into fistfights at school. You can talk to your child about their opinions of Jake, good and bad, why they think Jake is fighting at school. Perhaps your child sees that Jake is being bullied and has told the teachers, but he's not being protected, so now he's fighting back. These types of conversations can help your child develop cognitive flexibility as well as emotional empathy, allowing them to perceive and interpret situations from multiple angles and allowing them to develop more sophisticated ways of understanding and relating to the world and to other people, including you and even themselves. Of course, this will be difficult if you yourself do not have high levels of cognitive flexibility or empathy. So work on that. For older children, you may ask about the qualities, abilities, and attributes that they feel are similar to the alienating parent and as well as to you. So for example, if you're very artistic or intelligent and they feel they got this trait from you, this helps them identify with you. That said, keep in mind that the alienating parent will be using these exact traits and qualities against the child. For example, by discouraging their artistic, creative side, saying things like, oh, you're just like your mom, wasting your time on art, or, oh, you're just like your dad, thinking you're smarter than everyone else. So basically belittling and rejecting whatever traits, qualities, and talents that your child identifies as being related or inherited from you. Number 4, create positive and consistent routines and transitions that include sensory cues that symbolize the love, security, and connection they have with you. Sensory cues include things that engage the 5 senses: sight, sound, smell, touch, and taste. These cues can have a profound influence on emotions and memories, which help evoke and strengthen emotional memory. So for example, when you pick up your child, play the same favorite song, making sure it's familiar and liked by both of you. If your child asks why you're always playing that particular song, let them know it's because it reminds you of them and your connection. Along the same lines, keep a familiar scent in your car and in your home. For younger children, you can bring a security blanket or a familiar object that they associate with safety and security. This will help with transitions especially. You can offer a small candy or a favorite drink, making sure it's always the same. And if your child starts to become more alienated from you, these sensory cues will always remind them of you and bring back positive emotions. Think about a routine task that you did with your dad that will forever remind you of him. So these sensory cues can help reinforce the enduring bond between you and your child, countering the negative influences of the alienating parent without explicitly having to confront them. And on the topic of confrontation, make sure that you do not confront your child or engage in any arguments during transition periods. Maybe your child gets into the car with an attitude or starts verbally attacking you right off the bat. Stay calm, validate their feelings, and try to postpone the conversation until you've spent a bit of time together and they are safely, securely in the new environment. Number 5, if your child complains about the other parent's behavior, listen and ask how you can support them. As tempting as it may be to amplify the problems they're having with the alienating parent, and I know that's exactly what they do to you, but instead think about what's in your child's best interest and ask how you can support them in resolving the issue. Encourage them to write about their feelings and experiences. Ask your child if they'd like to speak to a school counselor or to a therapist. There are many free hotlines and low-cost counseling services, but if you can afford one who has expertise in parental alienation situations, this would be ideal, as they'll be able to educate your child about the tactics that the alienating parent is using on them, and also give them strategies to handle it. I also suggest that you consult a therapist for yourself and talk to a legal expert who specializes in parental alienation to discuss your specific situation. This costs money, yes, but it can be truly priceless when you consider the cost of potentially losing your child. I also recommend joining online support groups for alienated parents. This will give you a wealth of resources and support, as well as access to others who can truly empathize with what you're going through. Again, there are no guarantees, but keeping yourself healthy and well-adjusted is the best thing you can do. So step up your self-care, your positive supports, consider joining a support group and getting counseling. If you found this video helpful, please comment, share, subscribe, and to learn more about the strategies to co-parent with a narcissistic ex, please click on the link above.